What is up, everybody? How's it going? Today, I want to dive back into the ChatGPT code interpreter under ChatGPT 4. I want to show you guys what I have been doing since we last showed you what it was. We had alpha access a while ago. I'll throw that video up there. If you haven't seen it, it's a good entry level. What can I do with code interpreter, but I want to show you guys some really cool stuff that I've been able to do. And then I'm going to show you how I've been able to take what I did and translate it back into the software that I've been building. And I'll show you what that looks like too. So I will let you know, for most real estate agents, this probably isn't going to be a concept that applies to you. I know that most real estate agents aren't actually building or handling code inside of their businesses, but this is a really great concept to just understand. And so if you're not interested in this video, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up and just go ahead and move on. I think my next video is a foundation series, so we should be diving back into the ultimate ChatGPT guidebook. But if you're interested in learning a little bit, stay around. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about the code interpreter, and I want to show you guys the prompt that I had built out. And it is a big prompt, right? So let's break it down. Let's kind of talk through what it is. So first and foremost, inside of ChatGPT 4, I do have ChatGPT Plus. You can go to the code interpreter, and it's going to allow you to upload files into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT can start understanding and breaking them down, which is the really cool part about code interpreter. So previously, I had built out an Excel spreadsheet that I had saved as a JSON file, and it's just like a fancy text-based file that we use in programming. It also helps because ChatGPT understands what JSON files are. And inside of it, I am explaining to ChatGPT what is in it. So I'm calling these elements. They're individual little tasks that you should do. It's not a good name for it. And after I've explained this, if you think of a better name, I would absolutely love to know your feedback. Feel free and throw that in the comments. Still, like I said, elements isn't the right word, but I don't know what it is. So I'm currently calling it elements, right? So each of these tasks or little individual items is called an element. And then I give an example of some of the different elements. So we have customer avatar, unique selling proposition, and brand voice. Now, what I'm hoping ChatGPT can help me do is I have a list of about 100 of these things, and I want to take these and I want to group them into categories that are, maybe the top 20 categories of 5 or 6 elements in each. So that's the goal, and I'm calling those groupings, right? And so I explain how each of these elements is going to feed as a subgroup part of a single grouping. For the elements, I want to have the top 20 groupings, but it's not necessary that you only use a single element. So sometimes they may stack up twice. And then for the list, I also wanted a rank choice, which is a fancy way of saying, I want you to tell me which is the most important and which is the least important of all of the different groupings. So like number 1 being the most important, number 20 being the least important, so that I could kind of have a good place to understand. Now, that is quite a big ask from ChatGPT, but as I found out, it handled it like a champ. And so I just think that this is the case in point for elements. If especially if you're a computer programmer, your ability to move with speed is just paramount, right? So this I talked about rank choice. An example of this, I'm asking it to do a lot in one single prompt, and so I really wanted to give it some good examples. So an example of this grouping would be called a getting started, and inside getting started, you would have the elements customer avatar, unique selling proposition, brand voice as a subgrouping. A second grouping might be called marketing or market with the market reports, social media strategy, and customer avatar elements as subgrouping. So I'm giving it a couple examples so that it understands what I'm looking for. And then I'm explaining how I wanted the rank choice. So I've explained what elements are. I've explained what groupings are. I've explained that I want them to be rank choiced. I've explained how many of them I want, and then I've given examples all along the way so that it understands. So this is a really great way to just maximize your prompt. So it gets to work. It says certainly, and it kind of explains back to me what it's looking for. And then it's going to give me the steps. It's got 3 steps. So identify the elements, define the groupings, and then apply rank choice. From there, it starts doing its work, and you can look at all the code that it's building out there, which is really cool. And then it's going through each of these. So it's defining, it's applying rank choice, and then once it's finished, I haven't told it to build anything yet. I've just asked it to do that, right? So it's asking, should we proceed in creating these groupings? To which I said, yes. With each element, there are 3 ways I am tagging them. So I'm giving a little more context. Now, this is kind of for computer programming sake. You have to give classifications, or like you have to kind of state what they are. It just helps you look at the code a little bit later. And so I'm giving them these tags. We call them IDs. And some of those would include title. I do want a numerical ID associated with it. So that's what it's going and doing there. Since I've given it more instruction, it's asking for all of that stuff. Would you like to provide specific guidance? At that point, I think it understands. I'm just going to take a stab at it. And I said, I will correct if needed. Please proceed. So then it starts building out all of these elements, groupings, if that makes sense at all. So there are currently 8 groupings of elements that it has identified. And then inside of each of those, it's giving me examples, right? So in the getting started, I have my customer avatar, I have my brand voice, and customer avatar was ID'd and brand voice was ID'd. Awesome. So it's understanding exactly what I'm looking for. And it's doing all of this based on that Excel spreadsheet that I turned to a JSON file, and I gave it a good prompt, right? And I said, this is not bad. I would like to also add descriptions after the ID. And so it goes, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And then once that occurs, it starts building out the entire groupings with all of the elements under them. Now, at this point, it's giving me these little dots because some of these elements just go on and on, right? And ChatGPT, wow, was basically just running out of like text room. So then it says these groupings are based on the elements provided in the JSON, and they're categorized. I said, awesome. Can you create a new JSON file with all this information? And then it started working, gives me a download link that I can use to generate and download that JSON file. I said, awesome. Now, there were a couple things once I reviewed it, and I just plugged it into this JSON Viewer Pro. It's a Google Chrome extension that I have downloaded, and you can basically put in a JSON file and load the file. It'll let you read it as a tree, or you can even read it as charts. So this is really helpful for the unordained people like myself who don't really know how to use code. I appreciate that it has different colors. It's just a little easier to see. But I said, switch back the key values. So essentially what happened is it had figured out a couple strange nuances, and it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but it had gotten it right previously. So I asked it to switch back, gives me a new download link. I say, thank you. And then I asked for it to identify the purpose of this group and how it applies to real estate. So basically at that point, I am validating, hey, what you produced sounds good from a surface level, but why? Why did you produce that? Help me understand exactly why you chose each thing, how it went into each of these. So from there, it gives me a reason, right? So the getting started lays the foundation for real estate business by defining the target audience, brand identity, and initial strategies. Basically, things like that are going to help me, the prompt engineer, understand that this was a good prompt. There was sound logic behind what ChatGPT did. I do like to do that when I am, creating big prompts or creating large files. And this just helps me kind of validate and understand that. So that was really helpful. And then I continue on, take each of these and add this information. So basically, the purpose and in the importance, I kind of like having those. It actually made sense logically. And so I asked it to tack those on as well. So essentially, what is inside of that JSON file is each of the elements, each of the subcategories or the groupings that they fall under. Each of them has an ID number, and then each of those groupings has at the bottom of it, it says like purpose, and it explains the purpose. Importance explains the importance, and I'll show you exactly why I did that in just a second. But produces out new JSON file. That's kind of the point at this section. And then I was like, you know what, I should probably also think through, how do I categorize these based on the core strategies? So core strategies is a framework my business partner, Mark, came up with. It stands for conversions, operations, retentions, and experiences. These are the 4 core areas. You need to have good systems in your real estate business to be successful, right? So we teach on this. I actually took this concept and I applied it to my own software. And I wanted to make sure that I gave the core elements into this JSON file as well by category. So what ChatGPT is going to do is it's going to read each of those elements in each of the groupings, and it's going to go, oh, this element is probably a conversion space. This is probably an operation space. So it can just help me give additional ways in which, when plugging it into the software, I can kind of direct people. It's like, it's tags, right? I've tagged it so I can use this later. Some of this is for like later infrastructure, things that I have, kind of in the pipe works that aren't currently available. But man, it's been really cool. So I do explain what CORE stands for: conversions, operations, retentions, experiences. I don't actually need the experiences part. It kind of intertwines in all of the different sections. So I just gave it C.O.R.E. And then these are called key value pairs. The title, the ID, the description, and then the core area. So each of those tags, key item pair, key value pair rather. And that's exactly what I did. So lots of Google happened in this, by the way. Once I had all of these core, it restates that that was right, gives me a new JSON file, and we are off to the races. So from there, that was really cool. That was just an incredibly fast way of working inside of ChatGPT. Again, I probably saved 3 to realistically probably 10 hours of sitting there with a JSON builder, trying to figure out how to code, and then going onto Google and figuring out what I need to code, and then, hacking different pieces of code that was available as examples. Just kind of a nightmare of things. Now, I've done some other stuff with that. This was another one. So basically, I took each of the elements and I asked it to break it down by the categories, giving a reason or a purpose for each of the different elements inside of each of the groupings. Just trying to understand, again, more about all of these different features. That way, when I plug them into my software, we have a really good cohesive experience that is available. So that is what Code Interpreter was able to do for me. And I want to show you guys exactly how I applied this. So this is the Systems Accelerator Manager. I named it Sam. Everyone should have a pet name for their software, and Sam is mine. And Sam is a real estate systems builder, and it'll build resources and assets. And it's AI powered. You plug a little bit of information about yourself, your broker, your company, your team. And then what it does is Sam understands all about you. Now, from there, you can start to generate things in those 4 core areas: conversions, operations, retentions, experiences, right? And inside of each of those, there are different things that you could generate, from text messages to social media posts, blog articles, lead magnets, just you name it, it's probably in there. And all of this is designed in less than 10 clicks to help real estate agents build out those assets that they need to build out the systems that can be automated in their business. Because the more systems you have automated in your business, the more time you have. great example of this is like if you spend 3 minutes writing an email and you write it 10 times a week, that's 30 minutes each week that you are just wasting time, really. And it was only 3 minutes that you wasted in the moment, but it scales, right? And so you build it once, you refine it once, you apply discernment, and you edit the copy. Once it's generated, you plug it into something like a workflow, which is a feature inside of my business partner's company called RealVolve. RealVolve is a real estate specific CRM that has a workflows engine, and it helps you automate out tasks. You plug it in there, you plug it into Gmail, wherever, Hootsuite, any of those different places. But you can do really cool things with that, and you can do it fast. I can build assets, resources, systems in less than 3 minutes, under 10 clicks, and it's guided the process all the way through. I've just been really just thrilled with this software. And I just think that this is going to transform real estate in so many ways. When you're building things, you tell it what you want to build. It's going to ask you some questions that help you refine the thing that you're creating. And then after that, it's going to generate something. So I have lots of videos talking about that, but I want to show you what I was able to create using that JSON file that we were just looking at. So I go to the build my elements, and this is what it looks like. So now that I've plugged in this JSON file, I have all of them grouped into these subcategories. So there's that getting started category that I was looking at. I also have marketing and leads, sales and negotiation, customer service and retention, marketing analysis, legal and compliance, technology, training and development, all of these different sections. Now, each of these, you'll notice on the very bottom, they have that purpose and that importance that we had been asking, not only for validation, but now I have a statement of what the purpose of this section is for real estate agents who are looking to understand, why should I start working inside of the elements? And then inside of this is like a next step. So here's your like spoiler alert. Each of these is going to have a series of 5 steps that you can enact inside of it. So let's say we wanted to work on our customer avatar. Well, we could click on customer avatar. It'll pop down 5 steps. These might be things that we need to generate. These might be things that we need to tell Sam about. But what you're going to walk away with at the end of this is having a good understanding of your customer avatar that you can use when you're generating things inside of Sam. And also Sam is now going to understand that about your business, so it can help create resources that are more highly tuned to your business. So that's kind of the goal. Each of these, you get your customer avatar, your brand voice, social media, you just start checking them off, right? And then once you have all of these checked off, I think at that point, it's gonna like unlock a badge, or it's gonna get, like I'll literally fly to you and give you like a personal high five or something like that. I'm not quite sure yet on exactly what that will be, but there is going to be some game psychology built into that to make this really fun. But the goal is to, again, how can I help you as a real estate agent understand where to start? If I told you need to sit down and automate out every single one of your systems, most agents spend about 3 years doing that process, and they don't even know where to start half the time, right? And so my building of elements is the attempt to help give you that guidance. Where do I even start? And this is based on my business partner sharing with me all of his philosophies. He's been in real estate technology for the last 3 decades. And then I took that and I took the last 5 years that I've spent in real estate working with real estate agents. And I, applied my thinking cap to this one. And that's kind of where we got with these elements. But man, I'm just so excited. And I don't really know how to code. So believe it or not, I taught myself how to code HTML, CSS. And now I know how to build out JSON files, but ChatGPT has taken someone who, generally speaking, doesn't know how to code, and I've been able to create incredible things like this. I've been taking this whole time using the code interpreter, building out what I like to call spaghetti code, sending it off to my developers, and they've been helping build out Sam, and we've been able to lightning speed this. I've really only been creating Sam since about April, and it is currently September. So that's the timeline of building technology. I think currently I've saved over about 140 working hours of developer time. And what that means is I haven't had to pay for all of that time. And that's been a huge blessing because I am currently personally backed, and I don't have any VC money or anything like that that's helping me. So I am in fact a technologist on a budget, and this has just been an incredible way. So that's what I've got to share with you guys today. That is how I've been able to use Code Interpreter inside of my own business. That's a little bit of a sneak peek, a little highlight of Sam, the Systems Accelerator Manager. Now, here's where I'm going to send you guys off. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about how you as a real estate agent can get your hands on Sam, we are so close to running an entire beta group. Now, I only have 20 spots for real estate agents. And I pitch this every video. If for some reason after this video I had 21 real estate agents signed up, I would take all 21. Don't get me wrong. But we actually officially started yesterday, and we are going to be rolling out access in 3 phases. So if you thought to yourself, oh, that thing looks cool, I would love to learn a little bit more about that. I would love to apply that to my business. And you're willing to give me a little feedback. You can go to workflowsecrets.info/Sam Beta. I'll throw the link down in the description. Kind of lives there. You can get signed up. All I need is your email address so that I know where to send the emails that help guide you through getting an account set up. But we've got some really cool stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to move beta, and then we're going to go public launch. And you're going to have access to tools like this. Like I said, build out my elements. We now have a foundation, and from there I'm just going to keep chipping away. I'm going to keep adding stuff, and it's only going to get better from there. But that is how I was able to successfully use the Code Interpreter. I hope that was a really cool understanding walkthrough guide of that. If you're interested in the Sam Beta, I'd love to have you. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time.